Hello, my name is Clayton Nyiri, and I evaluated the interspecific relationship and reciprocal reaction within group learning shark behavior patterns. In a nutshell, this means that I taught a fixed behavior to a Mustellus canis, otherwise known as smooth dogfish, and observed if the fixed behavior could be passed between different sharks. In result, it ended in success. This project was selected because sharks are a forever passion of mine and have been since I was a little kid. And I wanted to be involved and knew that this is what I was going to do in college and the rest of my life. Therefore, I decided to get involved now and be ahead of the game. Mustellus canis is a very small organism in relative size compared to other sharks and can be housed in the facility that had the tanks I was utilizing. Therefore, this project was best suited for my area of knowledge and what I had available. My goal, ever since the beginning, was to originally start by teaching a fixed and measurable behavior to a shark, which I succeeded. But the overall goal was to provide foundational data to future research on sharks, to have a direct scope, that shows the foundation of shark research, or supports it, um, which can lead to so many more future shark socialization research projects. What I did to accomplish this in my project was I will zoom in. Was first I went through the series of training protocols on the right side. They involve much repetition so that this fixed and measurable behavior was truly established in the initial shark. If it was not established, then the project would have resulted early and ended in a in failure. I then took data on that initial target trained shark, and then to end it off, introduced an untrained shark into the tank with the trained shark to see if they would to see how the interactions would vary among both sharks. Surprises in my project were how fast the shark was able to learn the fixed and measurable behavior, and this is talking about the initial shark. Um, Zooming in on the data here, you'll see that there is a negative slope, and that slope correlates to a 78.33% increased learn rate. And that's from start to finish over 16 different trials, as well as having a 0.18 my bad, 0.018 R value, p value, which is statistically significant on the zero point zero 0.05 level, which highly surprised me because I did not think that the trials and total seconds would be extremely correlated, especially that fast. This was only over 16 trials. I handled the surprises by continuing to forego my research and using it to my benefit. What I learned from this experience was how to handle a hands-on project by myself. Of course, I had mentors around me, such as my teacher Kirk Shadle and Holly Turner Moore, a fellow aqua teacher. But overall, I learned how to be individual and work through problems on my own. I learned how to put in work. I learned mainly how to use different types of how to calculate different types of statistics and use them to my advantage to support my data and show how it was successful. I would say in the beginning, a lot of time was devoted to my project. I was going every single day for 2, 3 hours, just because I had to. 2 hours actually. I was going every single day of the school week for 2 hours because I had to clean tanks. I had to clean the tanks. I had to feed the sharks, and I as well had to cut up food, which all took time. And then on top of that, I had to run trials. Outside of school, I was inputting data. I was coming up with new solutions, different target ideas, as well as obtaining the food source. So the amount of time I put into my project, I would say, was a good 10 hours a week, and it definitely started to steadily decrease. I only put in I want to say 3/4 of that now, but the project is still ongoing. And once I get back into high gear, I will definitely be up to 10 hours again. Um, what kept me from being discouraged, because there were moments that I was discouraged in the project, such as when the the trials kind of started to, for instance, in the initial shark, you see in trial 8 and trial 13, the total seconds starts to rise. And I started to get discouraged here because I was like, maybe the data is not showing what maybe that learning is not actually put in place yet, that fixed behavior. But what I did was just kept pushing forward, kept running more trials, looking at it on the bright side and looking at the statistical part, because even though there is that outlier overall, the statistics show that trials and total seconds is correlated. So what kept me from being discouraged was not only my passion for shark research, but just pure positivity and the statistics of the project. Managing time in relation to my other activities was extremely difficult for this because I had to go in during all remote, and I did this by getting approved from my school's principal. He said he allowed me to come in and granted me permission. But on top of that, I was doing a sports activity. I was try, I was trying to do volunteer work as well as handle all of my classes. So managing time was very difficult, and it was a lot of driving back and forth between multiple schools, as well as my house. And I remember one night having to leave at 5:30 with family and friends to go take care of the sharks because an issue had come up. So I mean, it was really I tried to handle it to the best of my ability, which I think I did. How would I advise others doing a project? I would definitely advise them to pick something that's a passion of theirs. Um, it's really hard to get involved in something when you're not passionate about something and you're kind of, yeah, this is something I want to do, but you know, it's just something to check off my list. Once you're involved and you are really curious and interested by your topic and your project, you're going to find yourself wanting to run more trials, crunch those data numbers, writing, competing in all different science competitions. You're going to find yourself wanting to know why even more than you already did. So if you don't have that passion aspect, then you're definitely not going to get, the same results that you would have, because when you have a passion, you put in more effort. The value in competing in an agri-science fair is, or of completing an agri-science fair project, is that now this can benefit other aquarists that work with these animals, as well as any aquarists that harvest um, any of these animals, because it can be seen now if it can be seen that if any sharks, such as these sharks, are being housed, it can be seen that one, a fixed and measurable behavior can be passed down to an individual shark, as well as then passed down to another untrained shark without human influence. Therefore, the data is very relevant in that case. But the value of completing this was not only the data portion, but the experience I went through, running multiple backwashes, not calculating feed rates, but having to know how much food I had to feed each shark to make sure they were progressing slowly over time. Looking for the well-being, taking care of the tanks, multiple backwashes and water quality changes and scrubbings, cutting up all their food. So the value was really the experience that I got out of this. I just wanted to stop my share now, and I will share my display information. Once I find it, here we go. Here is my display information, and I just wanted to say thank you.